So a little bit of a repetition of Monday, and also a couple of games to practice our posture inside the guard. It's important to stay upright, most ideally at least. Keep your base low, my butt is close to the ground, and wide. So if he tries to move me side to side, there's some resistance just because I'm basing. If my base is very small, he'll be able to push me over more easily. First, we're going to do 3 games. The first one, we don't use hands, you neither. You try to pull me forward with your legs, just to show people like this. Watch the heads here, no headbutts please. And I try to resist this, so do it again. But I can't use my hands, so I can't pose my hands, okay? We'll do 1 minute each, and then we'll go on immediately after to the next game. And now we can use our hands. He can use his hand to pull me in, and I can use my hands to post on his body. Yeah? And where do I post? I always post on the inside position. So if these are his arms, apparently they are. If my hands are inside his arms, I'm in the inside position. So now if he tries to pull me in, so outside, I'm strong. And the other way around, if he's inside and he pulls me now, he's strong. Yeah? So the second game, we'll be posting our hands, and you'll also be allowed to pull you in. Again, 1 minute each. The last game is where we make it a little bit more difficult, because now it does matter where you start to put your hands, because if you put your hands too high, for instance, some people will try and choke here. What will you do if I do something stupid like this? For sure, yeah. So that's a silly mistake for me, for my side. So to deal with that, he'll get a win condition where if he is able to isolate an arm or an arm and a leg, neck, leg is a bit difficult, and he holds me there for 3 seconds, he will win. And what does this look like in isolation? Do you remember from Monday?
Triangles, almost.
Yes. Okay, just show a couple of isolations. No, this is too much. I'll show, we'll switch, yeah? The problem here is that Dan knows too much jiu-jitsu, so he knows all the names of the submissions, right? But before you can submit someone, you have to isolate an arm or an arm and a neck, and I can do that using my hands or my legs. Okay, what does this look like? If I'm isolating an arm, it's like this, and he'll try and pull it out, of course. And if I can hold this for 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, I win. I can also isolate an arm and a neck. It can be like this or in any other form. Same thing. If I can hold it for 3 seconds, then it's good. I can use my legs to isolate an arm. Yeah, this one's isolated, because now let's try to pull it out. It's difficult. Yeah, again, 3 seconds. Or using my legs to isolate a neck and an arm as well. You notice that I don't say triangle, just isolation. Triangle is when we start to tighten this up and get the submission. Okay? So these are win conditions if you're on the bottom, and on top you just have to stay good posture and away from this isolating stuff. So now we've learned how to be inside someone's guard and be safe, okay? Monday we opened the guard like this. I'm just going to show you once, because we're not going to practice this. I'm just going to show you. It's basically where we're pushing him forward, moving backwards, try and put a knee in his butt. Sorry. Can open like this, or sometimes here. The purpose of this is to end up in this combat base here, where from here we can pass the guard. And we did a knee slide pass on Monday, and we're going to repeat that as well. But first, what is the combat base? Combat base is basically, this is a normal base, and a combat base is where you put one leg up. Your foot is flat, not like this. Yeah? Okay. So we're inside the guard, in combat base, and what is the purpose of this? Try and close your guard now. it's really difficult. Yeah, at least my knee is always in there. Also, keep your elbow and your knee connected, because if you don't, he might be able to isolate something, maybe like this. Yeah, isolate or even submit, right? Okay. From this combat base, I can pass that way, I can stand up, I can go for a leg lock, and the thing that we did was going for the knee slide. So that means I'm bringing my knee across, schuin voor de Nederlanders. So here, and he's already covering up his gentle, because if you do this without looking or just going really hard, you might hit something that you don't want to hit, okay? But the purpose of this knee is to put weight on his leg and basically staple it to the mat. That's the purpose. Because if this leg is stuck, he won't be able to hip out. Yeah? It's very difficult. He's a smart guy, he's already reaching for my underhook, for his underhook. That's the thing that I should be doing next. So I'm bringing in my shoulder towards his chest, and my hand is sliding on the back side of his body, and I'm hooking under his armpit right there. My head, I would like to put it under his chin, and I'm grabbing the arm that's here. From this position, I'm sliding my knee out until I'm out, but my hip is still connected to his hip. If I'm too far out, he might hip escape and put me back in the guard, or worse. Sometimes you can get armbarred like this. So now if he tries to hip out, I can just follow him, and eventually I can go to the regular side mount like this. Okay. So for the exercise, we're going to start inside his guard with a combat base. Your elbow is connected to your knee. You're going to go across with your knees, stapling his leg to the floor, to the mat. Boom. Now, some people forget to base out here. If he's a little bit strong and he can push more, this is annoying. So you want to step out and basically put all your weight on the shin. Is that comfortable for you?
Not really.
Not really, yeah. My foot is still on the floor. It's doing the nice version. If my foot would be off the floor, it would be even worse. My shoulder is coming towards his chest or stomach area, and my hand is sliding underneath his armpit. My head, I'll put it under his chin, and I'm grabbing the arm like this, like over, and pinning it to my body like this. From here, I'm sliding out. That's why it's called knee slide. My hip is still connected to his hip. If he's trying to move, stay connected. And if I can, I'll switch to regular side mount. I'll get 3 points for the pass, and I'll be ready to go for mount and try to... going to combat base, opening the guard, usually it takes a long time. And sometimes when people are strong or have really long legs and are really hard to open, doing like the thing we did on Monday, like the basic on the knees, opening of the guard, is not working. Basically, you're trying to get back, it's not budging, nothing is happening. So you need to have a backup plan. And the backup plan here is to stand up and let gravity help you. The thing is though, that if I stand up like this, he's going to immediately wrap my leg here and throw me on my butt or even on my back. So in order to prevent that from happening, I'm going to grab one of his arms, put it on his belly, and I like to put it under this arm right here, the one that's on the chest. Yeah. So now, when this leg comes up, he's not able to grab it with his hand. Yeah. Another thing that I have to worry about is if I stand up. Most people stand up like this. But as we've been doing in the games, when I come up, he pulls me forward, and I'm off balance again. So instead of going up and a bit forward, I'm going sideways. So I'll shift my weight to this side, And when I go to this side, I'm posting my leg up and I'm putting some pressure on the inside of his hip. He's, how do you call this?
Twisted.
Twisted. Things are twisted. When the second leg comes up, of course, I can worry about this one, but we'll get to that later. The thing is that I have to do is squeeze his hips. Am I squeezing the hips properly? Yeah. Because if I don't, he can grab it and basically just drop his weight. And yeah. Or sometimes they'll go armbar as well. But here, when I have control of his hips, I have decent control over his movements. It is a bit more risky, that's why I prefer to go on the knees, but yeah, if it doesn't work, you have to get a second plan, right? Okay, I want to stand up straight. So I'll move up. And now I can put one hand on the inside of his pants, and you can see it's already opening. I'm walking backwards, pushing down here. And when it's open, I can go for this knee slide again. Yeah? So same steps, going under hook, sorry, and slide out. Keep connected with your hips and turn to the regular side mount. Okay, so we're inside the guard. I've been trying to open like this. It doesn't work. I'll grab his sleeve, put it on his belly, and put it under the arm that's on his chest. In order to get up, of course, this is the foot that comes up first because this is the hand that I'm controlling. Move from side to side, and I'll lift up my leg, put some pressure on his hip. Make sure he's twisted. Yes. Then the second leg comes up, and I'm basically squeezing his hips. Before I came up, I held his hand, I pushed here. Sometimes what I also like to do, if they start to reach on this leg here, I prefer to go to the other side. So I switch my hands, open, I'll go back like this, and I'll go here. Yeah. So it doesn't matter so much if you go left or right, but what does matter is that you're upright, open by going backwards, and then go for the knee slide. Yeah. So we'll do a short recap. When we're inside the guard, it's important to stay upright, have our hands on the inside of his arms, inside position. We don't want to reach too far because we get isolated or submitted. Then opening the guard, we have to move backwards, put pressure on the feet. If that's not possible, option 2 is to stand up, and we have to take one arm so he doesn't grab my leg on this side. Go from side to side, stand up. A lot of people make the mistake of putting the foot too far out and pushing in with the leg. You want to put your foot very close and then pressure in. It's much better. From here it's more like a lunge, from like strength conditioning, like a lunge to get up. Easier, because if your foot is all the way out, it's hard to balance. Then from here it's very important to stand up straight, like this, all the way straight. Still a lot of people standing here, and you get in trouble opening the legs. But right here, it's much easier. Grab a leg, move backwards, and then here. Like a lot of people, they struggle here going for the knee slide, which is normal because it depends on how he's reacting. Some people will end up like this, which is actually a very good position to start passing from as well. Some people ended up kind of like this. I don't really understand, but going here. There's a lot of options to pass, okay? But today we just focus on the knee slide. That's why sometimes people had a lot of issues getting to the knee slide. Doesn't matter if at least you were able to stand up and open his guard, you did a very good job.